Hey guys, a bit of a change from my regular types of videos today. I'm going to talk about why I think the positional matchmaking is a big problem and why I think it needs to be reverted back to the old system. In this video, I'll be exploring various factors such as being autofilled, positional swapping, dodging, and the overall time it now takes to climb in solo queue. In the end, we'll see how all these factors come together to make the overall setting of ranked feel less competitive, rewarding, and overall just a more grindy experience. Anyways, I know the intro was a little bit long here, but without further ado, let's get right into the video. So to start things off, with the biggest issue of the system, for me anyways, is if you play a highly contested role such as mid, one thing you'll notice is you start getting your secondary role way more. This was actually so much of an issue on one of my accounts that I was playing on that my first 5 games on the account, when queuing as mid primary and top secondary, I got top every single game. The big issue with this is when you're not placed, you get no splash reward, and even if you do get the splash reward, it's quite insignificant, which I'll be touching upon further in another section of the video. The big issue here is top is not my best role, so I know I'll not be climbing to my highest possible rank in that role. When being autofilled, it basically just inhibits you from climbing in your main role and makes you less likely to want to try. I mean, even with the splash, if I lose in top, I would only lose 3 LP. Whereas if I win, I only gain 3 LP in mid, and climb a role that I don't really care about. To avoid this issue of always getting top, I had to choose a role that was much more popular as my secondary, but this only served as a band-aid fix, and it was actually quite frustrating. And all of this leads into the second topic, dodging. I thought dodging would be a sort of solution to the positional matchmaking problem, but the issue is, say you're a mid main and get autofilled jungle. If you dodge, it makes you lose LP in every single one of your roles. So if you dodge one time, you get the timer and you lose 3 LP in all those rolls. That's 15 LP overall that you're losing. And if you dodge twice, you lose 10 LP in all those rolls. That's actually ridiculous. You're losing 50 LP overall. This adds up really quickly and especially punishes one-trick pony players who already need to dodge when their champion is banned. And it's not worth them to play a game where you can't climb your main role. The next thing is positional swapping. Riot will detect if you swap roles, so you'll get credited for that role, which is a good thing, but the big issue here is that people are less likely to swap roles, since it means they'll be also punished and won't be able to climb in their main rank. The system is also super abusable, and people are already doing it. Before Riot decides to punish you for doing it too much, what you can do is duel with a friend and queue up for a role you're very low ranking on. You can then get your friend to queue as your main role. When you get into the game, get your friend to swap roles, and you will gain LP for your main role while being in that lower elo game. This makes the game overall less fair and puts players further behind when trying to climb in their main role, since you only sometimes get your main role, especially in high elo, where the population sizes are much smaller than the lower elos. The final thing I'd like to talk about is the overall increase in time taken to climb. It goes up a lot. Because most games don't count as your main role, if you're playing a highly demanded role, you end up spending more time climbing your secondary roles and getting autofilled, and just overall wasting time, especially if you're trying to climb your main role. For players that are busy with other things in life, like myself, playing extra games causes a big deal of stress. For instance, since I'm an electrical engineer major, my schedule is quite demanding, and I can only play limited amount of games. So when I get autofilled or my secondary role, it's a big pain in the neck, since I only have limited time to play, and now I'm climbing a role that I really don't care about. Like for me, I'm able to play a bit more since I pipeline all my tasks. I study while I lane and during my queue times, but still, I could be much more productive if I did not have to waste time playing these autofiller secondary role games. Okay, I know I said a lot of bad things, but let's talk about some pros of the system and some things I think they implemented this season that are actually good. Okay, firstly, I think the system is much more friendly for casual players, the type of players that like to change their role every day or change the champions they play. However, it is not favorable for a competitive scene where players generally main only 1 or 2 roles and have the flexibility to swap with their teammates accordingly. One other thing I really like here is the new placement system. I think this rewards players that were previously high elo. a lot more. For instance, you can get placed Plat 1 74 LP in your first game, and you can climb and get placed much closer to where you ended. For instance, one of my accounts that ended Challenger was able to get placed Diamond 2. This was nice knowing I'd spend less time having to climb. Maybe it's just me, but I know players who are also complaining about this new system, and I haven't met many players who actually like it. If you have any tips Riot can do to fix positional matchmaking, or if you think it needs to be reverted back to the old system, please comment below. I also encourage every single one of you, if you do not like the new system, send a ticket to Riot. If you don't send in your feedback, they just assume we are alright with the new system, and they keep it. So if you're fine with the new system, also send in a ticket saying that you like it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm mistaken, but these are just my honest thoughts, and I want to speak up and raise awareness for many players who've complained to me, and I really do agree with their sentiments. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here and want to see more League of Legends content, please subscribe to be informed of my latest videos, and don't forget to like the video if you found it informative. Until next time, remember, you are null and void. If you liked the video and want to see more great content, here are some other videos I think you may like.